fumes flowing in neon's embrace. Bus doors open, kids find a safe space. Death three gaming dark fights the grind each day. From the joystick low to the streets ballet. She's the voice that echoes the restless hum. Hardcore hero where the city drums. She drove out of Cali where the sun went red. Found a home where chaos and dreams are bred. The city roars but her wheels still roll. Screaming at night with a fierce heart soul. That's regaining dark fights the grind each day. From the joystick low to the streets ballet. She's the voice that echoes the restless hum. Hardcore hero where the city drums. They laugh, they cheer when her streams go live. Green glow shining, she makes them thrive. Kids in the morning don't see her night. She hides battles fought by screens, strange light. Driving their futures down bustling streets, filling small lives with the simple beats. She carries their dreams while chasing her own. Walking roads never leave her alone. She drove out of Cali where the sun went red. Found a home where chaos and dreams are bred. The city roars but her wheels still roll. Streaming at night with her fierce heart soul. They laugh, they cheer when her streams go live. Green glow shining, she makes them thrive. Kids in the morning don't see her night. She hides battles fought by screens, strange light. Driving their futures down bustling streets, filling small lives with the simple beats. She carries their dreams while chasing her own. Winding roads never leave her alone.
Greetings, gamers. This is Dr. Eileen, the Gaming Doc, and this is your place and your space to laugh, to chat, to chill, to hang out, to take a moment, to take a break, to take a breath, and say it is my actual summer vacation. I am so excited. Granted, I still have to go in and clean toilets like 2 hours a day, but 2 hours a day means I can still file for my unemployment for the main part of my thing, so it all balances out. Anyway, it is, and we are going back for nostalgia. Those of you who remember back in the way back times, back in the before times, when we used to have everyday streaming, Monday was Make It Happen Monday. So we're talking about making it happen. But the first thing we need to make happen is to acknowledge our first 3 champions across the gate, those who are our Olympians, and coming in for the gold, who always has the 411 on all things interesting, Mr. Harmless 411. Coming in for the silver is my absolutely favorite Eagle of Iron. Yes, Iron Eagle. Hi, Doc. Hi. And coming in for the bronze, out of the way back before times, who is still one of my moderator supremes, JJ the Bunny, AKA, yes, we're doing it again, AKA Funny Bunny, AKA Punny Bunny, AKA Hugs Bunny, AKA Techie Bunny, AKA JJ the Barbarian, AKA evil alter ego, the Jackalope, and who is an absolutely awesome all-around person, JJ the Bunny. Howdy. Howdy! So, champions, just like at the Olympics, take your places on your risers, wrap yourselves in your national flags as we play your national anthems. Yes! And we also have in the house our very own coming sailing in from the tippy top of Mount Olympus, hurling a lightning bolt, Blade Zeus! An Iron Eagle reached a 20 stream streak. Woo! Mr. Arla's Iron Eagle Blade Zeus. Yes, hi. School started today. Wait, what? Where? I remember that back at the cabin. Yes, me too. Hi, Oreo. Yes, Oreo is here. Oreo is doing a thing. I don't have the animals. I put on a river because I think maybe that needs to be more chill because he was getting a little insistent about wanting to get to the animals behind the screen. So anyway, make it happen Monday. And the thing is, I don't think everybody understands truly about the whole make it happen thing, because it doesn't mean you make something happen today, right now. You rush into it, you know, everything, heck for leather, all of that in. No, 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 no. We can make things happen quietly. We can make things happen just by thinking about it, by setting something into motion. Because when we think about something, when we think about a new thing that we want to bring into our lives, yeah, it starts off with a thought. And it's amazing how that thought can make stuff happen. How, before we even do anything, just when we think about doing something, and then it's weird because then all of a sudden, stuff starts to weirdly fall into place as if it was waiting for you to have that thought. And, sometimes the things we need to make happen are things we need to make happen. Sometimes the things we need to make happen are things that we put off making happen. And now it's reached that point where we don't have a choice. We've got to do something about it. Keeping in mind that when we wait to take action, our choices automatically start becoming more limited. And that's something to really consider, that, when you want to deal with something or when there's a situation, at first it's like, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. But after a while, time starts taking away options. And it's like, oh, I can't do this anymore, so I'm down to 3. Oh, now I can't do that anymore, so I'm down to 2. And it reaches that point where it's like, you have no choices left. You have to take whatever action is left over. And while yes, that is a choice, that is an option, that is free for you to do, is it really what gets you what you want? And I know that feeling of having your choices limited. Exactly. Absolutely. And and sometimes they're limited by our actions, and sometimes our actions are limited by things that are completely outside of our control. Usually it's a combination of it, but there are some people who are dealing with situations that they've got to deal with that they did not get a vote in. And that sucks. That is the badness. Because it's one thing if we set something into motion and we can go, okay, fair. My actions set this whole, apple cart to get dumped over. And a lot of times it is things that occurred, either, somebody else's actions, or sometimes because of a physical condition suddenly changes things and takes away options. And when we want to make something happen, it's important to remember, it's like, okay, if I cannot achieve that particular thing, that one thing, if I can't achieve that, it doesn't mean that I don't have other possibilities. Okay, maybe that one didn't totally work out, and maybe you did everything you could and you did everything right, and sometimes things just aren't meant to be. And I have found in my 6.5 decades that usually when something doesn't work out the way I wanted to, over time, it turns out that that wasn't the direction I needed to go into. It turns out that, you know what? Maybe getting a no to that request I put out, maybe that was actually the best thing that could have happened to me. And it's rough. It is very rough, and honestly, we're all kind of winging it. We yes, you have lived your life. You have lived every single day of your life up until now, but everything ahead of now, including, what occurs in the next minute, that's all up for option. It is kind of up to the universe. I mean, part of it's up to us, but part of it is that weird random thing that can always happen. So, how do we make something happen if, maybe we've kind of got the cards stacked up against us? So, maybe you modify what you want to make happen. Maybe there's still the overall goal. Maybe there's still that overall thing that golden target. But how about the thing we make happen is one of the little baby steps that leads us towards it? Break down that big goal into those little manageable steps. You can stand at the base of Mount Everest and say, there's no way I could climb that mountain. But if you look down at your feet and say, can I take one step? Yeah, that's easy. Well, can I take another step? Sure. And even the tiniest baby steps can still get you to the top of the mountain. And in fact, often the slower we go, I used to grow up with the saying, slow is fast, which means that when you try to rush into something and get it done quick, not only do you sometimes mess it up, but you don't appreciate it. You do not stop and smell the roses. You do not enjoy the journey. And, that's something that we all have to remember. Yeah. Okay, end of boomer ramp. Boomer rant. Englishing. Let's see. Being neurospicy truly limits what society allows me to do. Yes. Yeah, and I love that phrase, neurospicy. Ooh. It makes it sound Caribbean. Anyway, but yeah, there's certain biochemical things that people deal with that kind of alter the way we can make our choices. I won't say it completely limits your choices, but it changes how those choices are managed. In Moz, I seen some saying early day Krypton was a male dog because he kind oh wait a minute, is that another phrase for a male dog? Anyway, custard. Yes, it was a custard because he conquered a different alien species. But when we see these aliens, they come with guns to Krypton speaking a language he didn't understand. So bro was probably scared and just did what he thought was the right thing. I mean, honestly, there is a thing where, it fits into everything where we're doing the best thing we know to do in that moment with the wisdom and experience we have. Wisdom, experience, and perspective we have. And the information. Wisdom, experience, information, and perspective. I think that covers it. I ordered a donor frog so I can get my no hands plane working properly. Yay! No forehand, all on Englishing. Yes. Hope you had a nice weekend. And my favorite Pokemon is in the house, lurking. Psyduck. I did. It was an interesting weekend because this is the first weekend in a while that I've kind of been on my own. And, when I almost spilled on the keyboard that Jay gave me to replace the last keyboard I spilled on, it was just like, oh my God, Jay's not in the house to save me. And he's, going to be on his way back today. And it really is. Sometimes it's when people step away and you realize it's like, oh, the quiet, you kind of miss them. And I look forward to hearing about Jay's entire weekend. Plus, he bought me some Louisiana sardines. Yes! Will he be willing to eat them with me? I'm guessing not. but he thought of me, and that was very sweet. But no, it was a nice weekend, and it was really weird because, as always, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but then I got to go back to sleep because I didn't have to jump on a bus to get to the bus yard. And so I go in the afternoon because I'm not driving anymore. I've got the whole rest of the summer off from driving. School starts, I believe, the second week in September, I think September 10th. And, we've got classes and stuff that we're doing in between. And the whole idea of whether or not we're going to be picking our new routes or whether we're going to be driving the same route we were, whatever. So, but yeah, it feels actually kind of surreal. I was playing, I decided I wanted to play Stardew Valley last night. And I'm playing and playing, and you know how when you're playing and playing, and you suddenly notice like, it's 11 o'clock. And I went through that immediate freak out, like, oh my God, I've got to be up in just a few hours. And then I thought, no, wait a minute. No, I don't. We're good. Maybe I'll do another day. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is enjoying their weekend. Slow is why the turtle won. Exactly. Exactly. Slow and steady wins the race. Actually, I would say slow and steady sets the pace. Slow and steady wins the race. Because, and that's the thing that most people, it's that rush to the finish line. But the finish line is just the starting line for the next race. And my whole life I spent where it was like, okay, I just want to get through this to get to where I want to be. I just want to get through this. I just want to get through this, chiropractic college and running a practice and all of that stuff. And when I moved here from California to become an actress and to, ultimately, I didn't even know that I would ultimately be driving a school bus. And now I'm really, it's like, the whole thing of acting. It's like, yeah, I'd love to get discovered and have somebody, put me into a feature film, and then I'm famous and all that other stuff. And, you know, but the thing is, I've learned to enjoy the journey. I mean, just my driving out here from California, I drove cross country, me and Arby, my bear sat shotgun. And the thing is that I realized it's like, okay, I'm getting from here. I need to make it to Michigan to visit family, and then and one of my dear friends, and then go up into Canada, and then get to. I had the date set for when I was going to get to the Airbnb that I would be staying at. But then, as I started driving, and I drove from the house I was staying at to a friend's house, and then I left from there to head east. And while I was doing that, I realized I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy this time. I'm not going to rush. I am going to watch the world go by. I'm going to fully experience the journey of driving across country by myself and thinking about the future that I honestly had no idea how it was going to come together. And instead of neurodivergent, I prefer neurospicy. It fits better. I like that. For us spicy avoidant, neurospicy sounds a bit too much, but it really isn't. Mm. Well, my dear JJ, you can have as much spice as you like. Jay, make sure you take driving breaks when you need to. Yes. Well, he's only actually a couple of hours away. I mean, he's in Pennsylvania. Always good to realize your free time doesn't need to be cut off. Yes, I've driven to Cali there and back once, though, under different circumstances. Was fun. See, fist bump, high five, and it can be fun. I mean, people were saying about how scary it was that I was doing that, how, it was just, I had so many people telling me all the most horrible things that could happen to a little old lady driving across country by herself. I said, I'm not by myself. I have my bear, which didn't seem to comfort them. But none of the bad things happened. I had a wonderful time. I visited the world's largest truck stop. Um, I enjoyed eating at little roadside diners, which was always my favorite part of driving. Well, one of my favorite parts. My absolutely favorite part of driving was getting up to start my drive for the day at like 4 in the morning. Because when I was little, and my dad was military. I mean, my mom had been military. She retired when they got married. But, we were a military family, which meant we moved like every 18 months. And it was cool because this was back into like the 60s, the mid to late 60s, in a 1963 Chevy Impala station wagon. And before the days of seatbelts and stuff. And my parents folded down all of the seats, so there was anybody who remembers, fist bump, high five, you remember the Chevy Impala station wagon. Hold on, let me see. We will pull up. Hold on. 1963 Chevy. Oh, why am I on caps locks? Chevy Impala station wagon. 1963 Chevy Impala station wagon. Yes. Oh my gosh. So, what? Windows capture. Chevy Impala station wagon. This was the old Chevy Impala station wagon. Oh my God. Ours was, well, it was technically a dark, dark, dark blue, but it looked black. They have and all these seats inside. Oh, see, there it is. There it is. And let's see. Hold on. Interior. Let's put the interior. Interior. Okay, so the Chevy Impala wagon had like this huge back area. Where was it? Yes, the old, you know, shift knob that was up there, the radio. And so this was the front seat. And this whole back area, all these seats would lay down, and you could drive it, with basically an immense amount of room in the back. So, my mom would lay out like blankets. There would be like multiple blankets that she would lay down. And so we could lay back there. We would color, we would play, we would, nap. But, when we would get up in the morning, we always got up at 4 o'clock in the morning the night before, because we would stop at one of those amazing little roadside motels. And I do so love those little roadside motels. I mean, not fancy. The air conditioning made way too much noise. And if we were really lucky, you had the one that the bed would vibrate when you put a quarter in the little box. Oh my God, that was so fun. Ask your grandparents about it. Anyway, so we would get up at 4 in the morning, and the night before, my mom would have gotten the thing set, and my dad would have checked it and gassed it up and all that other stuff. And they would, move us into the back of the station wagon. We'd go back to sleep. And at some point, I'd wake up, and it was just in time to start seeing the light come up. It would be first light. And there was always something I loved about being able to see the sunrise on the road, which is really funny because when I would drive the bus in heading into fall and winter, it would be pitch dark when I left the yard. So I would actually still see the sunrise on the road. But I did that while I was traveling, and there's something about that that is amazing. Ooh, roadside diners can be so good. We've got a flash from the past. Okay, Iron Eagle. Young adult. Okay, we're going to do young adult. Fruity Leaf's my favorite foliage. Hi. And hydrate. We've got decaf coffee. We're staying off the caffeine. And it's funny because once I got off the caffeine, those heartburn episodes completely stopped. Fall damage. That is such a cute little emoji. Okay. Young adult. And young adult is what would be a good young adult picture? Oh, how about this one? Do 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 do. Okay, this was okay, it's young adult. It was right after I got married. I was in the wedding of a friend of mine, and they wanted some sort of little kind of medieval hobbity, Middle Earth type of wedding. So I was a hobbit. Oh, no, we don't want that. We want no. There we go. Okay, so this was me. And honestly, I mean, I'm short. I'm very, very short. But this was me. I was 23 years old. And so I was at the wedding, and it was really kind of cool because I created this dress myself. There was a dress that I had with anybody who remembers like the little gunny sack dresses. Gunny sack dresses, they were kind of like it's old-fashioned style, kind of Renaissance fair looking. And this was me. Oh my gosh. 42 years ago. Mind blown. Oh my gosh. This was 42 years ago. That's so crazy. 42 years. I I'm that just blows my mind. 42 years ago. Wow. And what I thought my life would be is completely different. Ooh. Short is just fun sized. Absolutely. And I get rained on last. That's what I get. You almost look like Guinevere from Merlin. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Hold on. Hold on. We gotta we gotta look up. Let's see. Where is it? Guinevere. Okay. What? No. Oh, wait a minute. Fine. Merlin. Guinevere. Let's see. TV series. Images. Oh my gosh. Okay, that does kind of look like me. What? Why are you being weird? Give me search map. Why are you not showing it? Hold on. Let's see. Open file. Okay, let's. Nope, that's not what we wanted to do. Open file. Okay, let's see. Do you source that now? Okay, display window capture. There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, okay, so that's Guinevere. And what is it? Oh my gosh, why are you being weird? Now it won't let me show the other one. See, this is why Jay can't leave. because Jay knows how to do all this. Why is it that it's not letting me show the picture? Okay, we're going to take that down and see, the elves are acting up. Okay, you know what? We're going to take that away and we're going to do that. Photo. See, now it's not letting me do anything. There we go. You know what? I do look sort of like Guinevere. I said elves behave. Oh my gosh. I hadn't even thought about that. I had not even thought about that. My most recent WIP is in Discord. We will look at it. That's yes. Blame Jay. I told them to behave. I know they're being very, very salty today. Take the elves out back for disciplining. That's right. They don't know they're messing with JJ the Barbarian. That's right. You take them out to the woodshed, Jay. That's it. Okay. But yes, I do see how that kind of looks like me actually. That is crazy. Okay, let's go back to the Discord because I know that it will capture the Discord. No. There we go. So, let's see. What's in the Discord? Let's scroll down. Doc's office, promote yourself, show and tell. Ooh, yes. We were looking at this yesterday. And oh, Marauder's garlic harvest. See, he can make some garlic wine. And then all of that stuff. But yeah, we were looking at yeah, we saw that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. Where was it? Yeah, Blade Zeus. We saw all of these. We looked at these yesterday. Very, very cool. That is so neat. Art is just so exciting. Art can be like it's just it amazes me. And again, when you create anything, whether it's, beautiful art like that or drawing a smiley face on a napkin, you have changed the fabric of reality in the universe because that thing that you did, that you created, that didn't exist anywhere in the universe. You made it exist. And once you make it exist, it's a part of the universe forever. What is going on with my it's like the computer knows that Jay's not here and it's determined to misbehave. I don't get it. Uh let's see, but I did more on it today. Good, good. Let's see. I the word there that reminds me, I have some art I should post. We want to see it. That is very cool. We always want to see stuff that people create because you should be proud of what you create. And again, it doesn't matter what you create. The fact that you created it, that you made it, that you brought it into being, you brought it into life here in this reality. And that is a very big thing. I don't know, maybe I was going through some boxes and I came across an old sketch pad that I had done, God, decades ago. And I took this, it was like this program. It was what is it? I think it was like a 9-week program or something. It's called The Artist's Way. And basically it's about, finding your inner artist. And it's not just about doing art. It's about figuring out at what point your creativity got blocked off. figuring out at what point it was, it was not okay. And they did this thing where they had ah, they did this thing where they went into a kindergarten class and they asked the kids, okay, how many of you are artists? And almost every kid raised their hand. And then they went into like a third grade class and they said, how many of you are artists? And like maybe half the kids raised their hand. And then they went to middle school and they said, how many of you are artists? And, even fewer raised their hand. And then by the time they got to high school, they said, how many of you are artists? And nobody raised their hand. And it was like even the people who enjoyed art didn't consider themselves artists because they hadn't gotten paid for it. And the whole point is, at what point from our childhood when we believed that, we could be an astronaut or a cowboy or a ballerina or anything, and every little macaroni necklace that we made was something that, we wanted to come home and show off. Everything we drew, it's like when little kids, when they draw something, they want to show somebody, they want to tell somebody. And at what point did it turn into, well, no, I don't want anybody to see this. It's not that good, and the colors aren't exactly the way I wanted it, and the nose is totally off, and we always find reasons to just downplay and dismiss the effort that we made, the artistic expression. And I find that, and again, we were talking yesterday about dictionaries, that we all have a dictionary. And in that dictionary is our personal definition of things like friendship, loyalty, respect, love, hate, abandonment, security, safe, um, relationship. And in that dictionary is probably a section on artist, creator, motivator, um, you know, one who inspires, inspirational. If you ask most people, are you inspirational? I mean, just think about what was the first answer. If I were to ask you, are you an inspiration? How many people automatically say no? How many people go, it's like, you know what? I don't have my life together. I don't have all the pieces together. I don't have, what is traditionally considered success. How can I inspire anybody? And every single one of you is an inspiration. You inspire me. And the idea, and even I have a very hard time. It's like, those of you who were here yesterday when, Jay sent me that wonderful song that he did for me. And I felt uncomfortable. I felt embarrassed. Did I feel unworthy? A little bit. It felt, I did, when I think about it, I did feel a little bit unworthy of it. And I've been doing this for a long time. And even I have that little bit of, I'm not worthy of this. I'm not to be celebrated. I'm just, and what most people say, and usually the most inspiring people say, is, hey, I'm just doing the best I can. So at what point is that not inspiring? Doing the best you can. Think about it while I catch up with the chat. That reminds me, as some artist should post, Bro said the alien was going to a new world. They probably had guns just to defend themselves. Yeah, that's most likely true, but imagine a caveman seeing this. He probably wanted to defend himself too. The only bad thing Bro did was enslave them, but that's implied, not outright said. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel the same way about Pokemon. I thought, oh, Pokemon, they're cute, they're sweet, they're this. It's like, wait a minute. You're taking these wild creatures, forcing them against their will to live in a ball And the only time they get out, most of them, is when they're being forced to fight their own kind. Okay, that took Pokemon into a place where it was like, suddenly it was like, okay, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. I mean, and some people say it's like, well, maybe they would fight out in the wild. It's like, well, maybe they would, but that's their choice. But you're locked in a ball. I mean, and they don't even say what actually the experience is inside a Pokeball. Is it this sort of bizarre alternate reality that's actually much larger, but they're alone? They're isolated. And the thing is, if the only time they come out is by being made to fight, that kind of prolonged isolation can make you crazy. And yeah, there were the few Pokemon that were allowed to go out and wander, but that was strictly at the whim of their owner. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, wait a minute, Pokemon's kind of messed up. I consider myself artistic, but not an artist. I put the yoke I removed from my no forehand plane to show and tell. Yes, we will look at it. I don't get paid for what I do, but I consider myself an artist. Good for you. As it is, I pay postage to send people my pictures that want them. Nice. I sent my most recent drawing. I haven't been drawing much recently because I have no motivation. That's okay. Haha, valid take on Pokemon. Although you are still my favorite Pokemon. But yeah, I mean, has anybody like really kind of thought about that? Okay, show and tell. Okay, let's scroll down to where we were. Do 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 do. Oh, brief moment of motivation drawing. I think that this is sweet. It makes me think, is that a ladybug in the background? It makes me think of a ladybug. Oh, that is cute. Finally removed the yoke of my hand plane ready for the donor frog. I can't wait to get it working. Ooh, look at that little thing. Oh my gosh, that to have a teeny tiny thing like that mucks up the works. I mean, that just proves you did glass fusing? Oh wow. Okay, here's the before. You did this, JJ? I love this. Oh my gosh. See, first off, I probably would end up slicing off a finger working with glass. That is so neat.
Who's slicing fingers?
Yay! Jay's back! Jay, the Jay is back! And my sardines and Louisiana hot sauce! Okay, find Onyx. He has been missing you hardcore. He has been, I mean, when he actually comes to me and says, where is he?
Onyx!
Go find Onyx. He needs you. Yes, Jay is back. My computer is safe. Okay, Elves in the computer. He's back. Let's see. Ladybug. Yeah, the yoke arms aren't in line with each other. Nova Star Sniper. Hey, what is up? W. Is it W for win or what's up? Sure did. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. I was playing Roblox with my GF last night, and then at the corner of my eye, I saw a massive, probably 3 centimeter spider, and I genuinely shrieked and jumped up on the gamer bed to get away from it, and made my brother capture it, take a picture, and get it away from me. He put the spider behind the fridge. Oh, hey, Oreo. So I think when the previous owner of the number 4 hand plane tried to fix it and botched it. I mean, is that not an allegory for all of, like all of the big things. Is he still sulking? Well, he's around here somewhere. Behind the fridge, that'd be a good way for me to die. Wouldn't touch the fridge then. Well, unfortunately, chill with spiders in our household. So, you can't kill it. And my brother didn't want to put it outside where it would die as well. Well, actually, it would have a better experience outside. It would have a better experience out. And there's more food for it outside. It can build a web outside. See, I don't, spiders and stuff like that outside because that's where they belong. Thankfully, I have the sense to fix it properly. Well, good for you. It's a house spider and we have a whole bunch of bugs for it to eat, unfortunately. All depends. Some are house spiders, most are wild. Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, technically, I question the term house spider because they existed before houses existed. Now, if they decide, you know what, we're gonna chill, we're gonna live with the human beings, and there's enough to eat, and occasionally I can amuse myself by freaking one out. And spiders don't get domesticated. Although, when I was younger, I did have a friend, and I was like horrendously afraid of spiders through the vast majority of my life. And I knew somebody who had a pet tarantula. I mean, and that tarantula actually loved him. It was crazy. We'd go in the room and and I'm like, I'd be like at the doorway. And the spider would, if as soon as the spider registered him coming into the room, it would come up to the edge of the glass and it would put itself up, and he would reach into the tank, which grossed me out. He would reach in the tank and pet it, and it would lean into his hand, and then if he put his hand down, it would get up on his arm and move up. Uno no mercy, ruthless, brutal, unapologetic. Okay,
It's crazy.
if y'all
Leave him alone.
if
5 minutes.
and the cats are at it again. And the thing is that, Uno honestly brings out the worst in me. I don't do bad when I'm playing with people, but when I'm playing with the computer, that is rage quit moment because I knew the computer's cheating. I just can't prove it, but I know it's cheating because nobody gets a draw four times in a row. It's cheating. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, spiders, tarantula. Anyway, and he would put his hand in, the tarantula would immediately go up, and it would literally go up and rub itself against his neck. That was the craziest thing I ever saw. And he kept trying to use that as a way to convince me it's like, no, some spiders are nice. Some spiders are cool. I came over one day, he met me at the door and he goes, okay, I need to tell you the spider is loose in the house. I immediately turned around and walked back home. No, I wasn't going in. There's people who do get Bloodella, duck. It's a house spider. I can chill with it as long as I can see it and it doesn't get close to me. Yes. Hey, hi, WBJ. Welcome back. Not going to send the spider pic since I doubt anyone here wants to see that. Well, I tell you what, Fruity Leaves. You can post them and then people will look at them if they want to. I appreciate that. Yes. Put a disclaimer. I'll be fine, but it depends on country. I know my house spiders. Me thinks you know yours, etc. Oh, we have more play carrots. And how long is it going to be before they tear that apart?
That's what I bought too. Here you shit.
The cats destroyed. They had like these carrots and they make this kind of crunchy noise when they play with them. I don't know if they've got catnip inside it or what.
Oreo, yeah.
I don't know, but oh, it is. Oh,
Oreo, why are you running away from it? You look the shit out of the other one.
oh, I missed you, Jay. Especially when I almost spilled on the keyboard again.
Go play with your fucking carrot.
Oh, Jay has such an interesting relationship with the cats. The way you say welcome back, Jay, sounded like something different, Doc. Really? Well. Oh my goodness. Oh! Iron Eagle. Okay, it took me a few minutes. I know everybody was humming the Jeopardy theme. Do, 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 do. How long is it going to take her to figure out that she accidentally said something naughty? Okay, yes, yes. I will acknowledge that. I will acknowledge that. But you're the one who pointed it out, so it's not totally on me. Oh. And the funny thing is, when I was younger, I had a bit of a mouth on me. And what do you mean bean time? It's not bean time. I didn't swear. I want a consensus. What did I say? Got to get going. Got errands to run. Well, I'm sure that, you got to go get new light bulbs for Olympus and, maybe sweep the staircase that goes a gazillion miles. Feed the Pegasus, that sort of thing. So have a lovely day, my friend. Take care, everyone. You take care also. I always picked up every spider until that one day. The change was I picked up a 2 to 3 inch mom spider holding her clutch of egg bags. She bit me. She did the right thing. Yep. I mean, when you grow up with things like brown recluse, that is not a spider you want to make friends with. Wolf spiders, and we were taught to have a very, 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 very healthy respect for spiders because the area, some of the areas I grew up in when Englishing. Yeah, brown recluse. That is not a spider you want to play with. And see, not everybody knows how to identify them. Or a wolf spider. Not everybody knows how to identify them. And it's like, what? You admitted it was naughty. I said it, but the thing is the intention was not naughty. I was being correct. I was just reading the words. You're mine. You need brain floss. Clean up your thoughts. Agreed. Your world is very different. Yeah. Stephen and I took advantage of this morning and didn't roll out of bed until 8:30. Wow. Wow. I mean, look at this. I shake it and it spills. What the heck? Anyway, sleeping till, and see, when I was growing up, again, I was the child of not one, but 2 Air Force sergeants. And it was like, oh, really? 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock? That sleeping in was 7. 7 was, and that was specifically allowed for New Year's Day, after midnight mass. Let's see, there had to be a specific reason that we were up way past our bedtime. And so we were allowed to sleep until 7. Normally by 6 o'clock, and we had this boxer dog, and anybody with boxers know that they're a very energetic breed. And our boxer adored my mother and would do anything she said. All she had to do is, she'd wait until 6, call out, time to get up. And if we weren't up, she'd come, open our bedroom doors, and say, wake them up. and the dog would come in and fling himself on our beds. And if you've ever had a dog fling itself on your bed while you're sleeping, it's an experience. But, it was crazy. If I can see the spider, it's in my personal space. I cannot abide. I swear, there was a point in my youth that if I saw a single spider on the wall, I wanted to burn the entire house down. It's like, nope, nope, nope. Which is fascinating that I ended up living in the woods, but I didn't end up with spiders in the house, which was very weird. I remember my uni roommate from Bermuda got to Canada and was like, "Where are all the bugs?" Lol. I once had a spider living in my room. I only knew of it because I saw its web until one day I was laying in bed and that MF crawled out from under me, took me everything in me not to scream. I trapped it under an empty sour cream container and it was on my tablet and brought it to my mom. Not my fault. It sounded naughty. But it was not intended naughty, okay? Good move. Puts a spider near JJ. How are you? Mm. Yes, that is. Oh my gosh, I was terrified of spiders. I mean, like freaked out. It was weird because eventually it shifted and now I'm okay with them. Now it's like, okay, you go outside, go on outside, you're fine. I'd put them somewhere safe. I mean, like under a cup or something. I ain't letting, again, we have spiders that can kill you very quickly. I mean, and the thing is, it's like, okay, black widow spiders, which, are a thing in California. Actually, I don't think I've seen a black widow spider since I've been in New York. I need to find out. I have to ask Jay. Does New York have black widow spiders? Because I'm now watch it, knock wood. Now that I've jinxed myself, I'm probably going to have one sitting next to me on the bus. But, I've seen sewer rats and they have this weird little bug that everybody says you have to kill as many of them as you can because they're an invasive species and all kinds of other stuff. I still have a really hard time with that. But it's there. I've seen lots of different types of bugs. I've seen cockroaches, but I can honestly say I've never seen a black widow spider here. I mean, and there were a lot of them in California. But see, the thing is that yes, a black widow spider has toxins and can damage you, but the brown recluse, that thing will have it's like immediately it starts killing skin cells, and people end up having to have amputations, and uh this the tissue, the big doctor word is called necrotic, which basically means it just almost melts away. Let's see, without spiders, flies wouldn't be under control. But there's bats and there's frogs. Frogs eat flies, and bats eat flies. So cats catch flies. Our boxer used to catch flies. But, without spiders, we wouldn't have actually, because once I started, not being horrifically terrified of them, and I started looking at the beauty of a web, and it's like, wow, that actually is pretty amazing. It still terrified me. Let's see. I want to say, learn what life lives around you so you can take the right steps, or some are best to live with you. More info for each, all outside of a safe thing. Yes. Yeah, it is, and learn what lives around you. Ding, ding, ding. 100%. Because it's like, and people will go into places, and I've seen, people, horror stories about tourists who honestly don't understand that they need to respect the natural world around them. And that, it's like, oh, well, this isn't a big deal. It's like, no, you don't understand what this thing is capable of. Whether it's an insect, a bug, some sort of creature that they think, oh, that's cute, I want to take a selfie with it, and then it turns around and it sinks its teeth into you. It's important. Whenever I travel, I always look up. It's like, okay, what are the things? I mean, I really want to go to Australia and New Zealand. I really, really do. And I really, really know that there are tons of forms of life that are very detrimental to my continued health. I want to know each and every one. I want to be able to go, oh, okay, I'm eyeballing that thing. I saw a black widow crawl into my winter coat. I did not wear that coat last winter. Honestly, I probably would have just buried it. I probably would have buried it. And okay, anybody who, and I don't care if it was as a child or as an adult, has ever had the experience where you like step on a bug or an insect and you think you got it and you lift up your foot and it's gone? That to me is like the most horrifying thing. The first time it happened to me, it freaked me out because I was convinced it had crawled up into my shoe or that it had gone off to go get its friends to come back and get me. Crazy. And we've got Kimmy Bean's Arts in the house with the southbound end of a northbound unicorn, and it's raining beans. Hallelujah. Kimmy, how are you, sweetie? How's the recovery going? What is up? Did we have anything after the neck pop? I meant is under control. Yes, I'm tired. I didn't exactly sleep well. Why not, sweetheart? Why not? Oh, I'm sorry. Wasps will go get its friends for sure. Oh my gosh. Well, and wasps and certain types of bees, but especially wasps, when you step on them, there's actually a pheromone that is released. What? Which cat are you? I hear a cat meow. Come on. Come on, Ori. What? Anyway, there we go. There we go. Fine. You're not thrilled with that. Okay, fine. We'll put back on one of the cat videos. There you go. That one's got a bird in it. There you go. You can go look at that. Anyway, they release a pheromone that actually is a signal sent to every wasp in the area, and they zero in on it. And keeping in mind, a wasp doesn't die when they sting you. Bees, and not every bee, killer bees do not release their stinger. So, but regular bees that do, but they don't care. I have natives cockroaches. They are not house ones. I move them back outside and they are an inch long, but they are friends. I hold them if they come through my window. They just got lost. They won't survive inside like other bad roaches that are bad for the kitchen. Yeah, I mean, there are creatures that, that get a very bad reputation just because they're not cute. I mean, okay, think about it. Think about like old Disney movies where you've got all the cute, like Bambi, okay? If Bambi was the most butt ugly deer that was in the forest, I mean, the type of ugly that could make a seeing eye dog flinch. And, it's like, would everybody be so excited about it? Would people have thought, oh, yeah. See, people only want to save the cute animals. People want to get attached to the cute animals. If Flower the skunk had rabies, how would that have changed the entire concept of the Disney movie? If Thumper was the rabbit in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the fierce rabbit of Caer Banog, if if he had like fangs and all that stuff, Would Bambi have been that cute a movie, or would it's like, I think they should have shot that deer early on? Couldn't the hunter have gotten him instead of the mother? Let's see. I just couldn't switch off. Yes. That wasp smell is from my living with them. Works more for them when you kill them and close to the net. Yes. Nest. Doc needs a cat cam. We are getting the cat cam. We're definitely getting the cat cam. Oh, what? I go to move the camera to look at him, and then he's gonna like go. Make a seeing eye dog twitch. I've not heard that one before. See, there were two old sayings. It's like one that someone's so ugly they'd make Ray Charles flinch. But, it's like, it would make Ray Charles seeing eye dog flinch. A skunk deer with horns. If Thumper the bunny was a jackalope. An evil jackalope. See, I'm telling you, JJ has an evil alter ego that I want to see brought to life called the jackalope. A skunkalope. A skunkalope. You have a skunk with horns. Yep. I need to commission a jackalope emote. Yes, we need to bring the jackalope to life. Oh my gosh. It is, but when you think about it, it really is about making sure I'm keeping track of the time, making sure that, we remember. In all the Disney movies, what were all the animals? Cute. Cute. And, it's like even in the TV, the Disney live action, Charlie the Lonesome Cougar, fist bump, high five, if you remember the live animal movies that Disney had. One of my favorites was Charlie the Lonesome Cougar. We always want to bond with the cute animals. And I mean, maybe that's the whole thing with Pokemon is that they're pretty much all cute. Jigglypuff. And why is it? Okay, how is it that certain Pokemons can actually speak English and other Pokemons, they've got like Pokemons that can only say their name, and then there are Pokemons that can't speak at all? I have questions. I prefer the David Attenborough documentaries. Ah, yes. Well, we had our version of that back in the 60s, which was Marlon Perkins' Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Oh my gosh. Because if you had a major TV show, it had to be sponsored by somebody. So it was Mutual of Omaha. Mutual of Omaha was this insurance company. Wild Kingdom. And Marlon Perkins was the guy, and he would show up on like, variety shows carrying like a sloth or something and, freak out the host, and they'd be like, ah. Oh, Mutual of Omaha. I remember that. Yes. Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Hold on. Let me Google that. Hold on. Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Marlon Perkins. Oh my gosh. Started in 1962. Oh my gosh. I mean, he was in search of the giant armadillo.
What a search that is.
Huh?
What a search that is. Looking for a giant armadillo.
How long did that run? How long did that show run? No, I don't want to hear about you asking for money. I go to Wikipedia and they're asking for money. 1963 until 1988. Oh my gosh. See, Marlon Perkins, the company had been sponsor of an earlier animal-related show, Zoo Parade. Okay, I saw it, it had stopped running when, when I was born, but they had reruns of it. I remember Zoo Parade. And that was from 1952 to 1957. So basically, and Wild Kingdom won Emmys. So basically, he was doing an animal show from 1962 to 1988. I mean, he was the early, you know, like all the people who have him and Jacques Cousteau. Oh my gosh, Jacques Cousteau was the best. See, Marlon Perkins was on land. He was like the king of the natural world on land. Jacques Cousteau was the king of the ocean, and he had his ship called the Calypso. And John Denver made a song about Calypso, which is, very cool. And he dedicated it to Jacques Cousteau. And the thing I always remembered about that show was that he had this son named Philippe. And Philippe was always, if anybody was going in the experimental shark cage, it was Philippe. Philippe got put into all these horrible situations. Jacques Cousteau, he was French. Oh my gosh. Jacques Cousteau. And, he was, God, how old was he? Jacques Cousteau, he was born in 1910 and passed in 1997. And he co-invented the self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, otherwise known as a scuba tank. And they called it the aqua lung. Oh my gosh, the undersea world of Jacques Cousteau. It was amazing. Oh, there's Philippe! Jean-Michel and Philippe. Philippe was always the one who got nailed. I mean, if anybody was going to go into a dangerous situation, it was Philippe. And now Philippe is going to go into the shark cage. I don't want to go into the shark cage. Go into the shark cage! But, I mean, and he dedicated his life to the sea and to the ocean, and not just to experiencing them, but he spent his life wanting to teach other people about the beauty of it, how to appreciate it. And, like Steve Irwin, in his desire to have people, see the beauty in in the world of animals that most people don't see beauty in. But yep, Marlon Perkins was my generation Steve Irwin. And it was pretty amazing. Mutual 25 years. Spoopy giggles. Hi. Ah, that's why I remember it. It was still on. Yep, Spoopy. He was the early Steve Irwin. Yep. Have you seen The Life Aquatic with Steve Zizu? The character is sort of an homage to Jacques Cousteau. Very strange film. No, I've never even heard of that. I will have to look that up. Hi, Doc. Multitasking, setting up a new lab. Ooh, fire nutter. See, we talk about the ocean and in comes Captain Firebeard. But oh my gosh. Now, Jacques Cousteau, laptop. Nice. We get it. I always wanted to, like be on the Calypso. And because it was like, I mean, and he basically spent most of his life at sea. He didn't even come onto land much. He would do lectures. He would, there were different things, but pretty much he was literally a man of the sea and he was a part of it. And, it's always so amazing when people have a passion for something and it's like, oh, this is for me. They want to share it with the world, which is, I mean, that's like people who game. And some might say it's like, well, that's gaming. That's not, you know, changing the environment or protecting the ecosystem or anything like that. I mean, it's not, a big ecological thing, but I think it does serve something that serves humanity. When people share what they love, what they're passionate about, even if it's a particular game, it helps other people find something that can help them find balance in an unbalanced world. When, because I know when I'm feeling off and I'm not in necessarily my happy place, I pick up a game. I'll sit down and I'll start playing a game and, something, I'll turn down the monster encounters on Don't Starve and be able to, have just a nice chill where, I build what I need to build and I don't have to worry about something coming and, getting all up in my grill. And or playing something like My Time at Portia or My Time at, Sandrock. And yeah, I avoid the mines. But, it really is something when people share what they're passionate about, when people help educate other people. And that's also a big part of, I think, the importance of gaming, because people can watch it and they can understand, oh, I can see why my kids enjoy that. I can see why that would be a fun way to kind of escape reality for a while. That's honestly pretty benign. Englishing! I have had bees, still have one hive. I had a feeding platform. I was trying to find my way to help them find my way, etc. Was feeding them far from where the hive was. I walked over to them, no safety, etc. But the bigger wasp was, they're not very good ones. Info on the yellow jackets: German wasps are the bad ones. So two things: all other wasps pollinate flowers and don't attack bees and beehives. So just the big wasps, no. So friends, okay, yes, most wasps can sting, but just the big are bad. Yeah. But do get more info on your location. Yeah. I mean, because that can be very important. And, and also taking into consideration that there are people who have phobias. And, it's like, okay, in my situation, where I lived had mountain lions. I saw mountain lions. They were visible. They normally they would not come out during the daytime, but after there was a fire and all the deer left, see, a mountain lion will not surrender its territory. It just finds something else to eat in it. And they were coming and, during the day and grabbing people's dogs, and the mountain lions weren't fast enough to get the cats, but the coyotes were. And we had coyotes and I saw coyotes. And there were people who, like, how could you live someplace that has mountain lions? That's insane. To me, it wasn't that big a deal. And I understood that my experience with it was not what everybody else's experience was, that there was genuine fear. And I had to respect that. And I'd tell them, it's like, look, it's no big deal. They mind their business, I mind mine. You know, I know how to manage myself so that, my dog, Sam, was a big dog. And so it was different because people who were walking the little tiny dogs, yes, the mountain lions would come up and they would stalk it. And I knew of a lady, her and her daughter were walking their small dog, and they ended up getting surrounded by a pack of coyotes. And those coyotes were like, they were serious. And they weren't afraid of humans. And the mountain lions where I was living at, they're not afraid of humans either. And so in my experience, just because in my experience they weren't a big deal, what didn't mean they weren't a big deal. They were dangerous. They were predators. And just because I could relate to them in a way, that was between me and them. I would not in any way encourage anybody to view them as anything less than what they are, which is a predator. I mean, we had rattlesnakes. We were on a mountain. Stuff like that happened. But, it's what is terrifying to one person. I totally respect that. that it's like, you know what? If this is bad to you, it's bad. If this doesn't work for you, it doesn't work. So, it is, I mean, it is interesting because, there are people who live in places that, either have huge bugs. I mean, like huge. I spent time in the Amazon. Um, the anacondas that would hunt in the river at night, which is why they would tell, tourists would want to go, oh, we're going to go out and we're going to be in the river at night and, under the moon and we're going to have this spiritual experience. No, you will be eaten because that's when the anacondas hunt the water. And there's a lot of people, I have no problem with snakes. Snakes are cool. I think they're very nice. I was not going into the water with them. And I don't care how many people said, oh, well, they're cool and they're nice and, they're sweet. It's like, no, no, no. These are animals that will eat me. And people die when they do that. Anytime anybody devalues what it is that, these wild creatures can do, there are more people killed by deer than there are killed by wolves. I mean, wolves get a big, but there are more people killed by deer. And why? Because a deer knows it instinctively to kick right here. And when a deer will turn and kick, it splits the sternum and it drives it into the heart. That is how people die around deer. Either that or it's the rutting season and the males know how to use those antlers. So, it's like, yeah, when we have, everybody has those, different experiences with different aspects of nature, and it's always what your individual experience is. It definitely isn't the rule. So, I would just tell people it's like, well, I learned how to adapt to them. They are not pets. They are not sweet. If I saw a baby mountain lion, a kitten, I was getting out of the area, which meant there was a mother nearby, and a mother anything will take you out. So yeah, it's like, if everyone needs to say Englishing without with much, I'm looking forward to Englishing update marks. Yes, so much Englishing. I understand. Love that you have an understanding of the change of things, that they had no choice. Yeah, they had to eat. I mean, and that was the thing. And people were, I mean, yes, it was truly heartbreaking because every day in our next door and in Facebook, we'd see a sobbing owner and one lady, she went out to her car and she just went out and she didn't realize her dog had followed her. She went out and just to get something out of the glove box. The dog was literally right next to her. A mountain lion came up, grabbed the dog, and ran. And there's nothing you can do. One couple, which I do not understand why anybody would do this, they had to have been new to living on the mountain because nobody who knows living on the mountain ever sleeps with their door open. You don't go to bed with your door open. You don't go to bed with the screen door closed. And they had left their door open. A mountain lion came in. Their baby was in the crib. The mountain lion was heading towards the crib. The dog was at the foot of the bed and barked. And they woke up, saw the mountain lion heading toward the crib with the baby in it. And the baby was making little sounds, which was drawing it. The dog got up and barked. The mountain lion immediately turned, grabbed the dog, and ran out. And, I mean, these are things that, I'm sad for the family. I'm glad the child was okay. And when you create a situation that is going to lead to problems, it is, nature. The thing that I, in my heart, believe about nature is that it is completely neutral. It is completely impartial. Yes, there are cases where people bond with creatures in the wood. But keep in mind that grizzly guy, the guy, who hung out with the grizzly bears and all of that, and, and it was one big happy family, he was killed by a grizzly. So at some point, he neglected to realize this is a wild animal. He humanized them. And I think that that's one of the things that happens is that when we humanize wild creatures, you smile. People, oh, well, I smiled at it. No, because if you're smiling at a wild creature or even a domesticated dog, you smile, in their world, you're baring your teeth. And, it is about being able to accept that, in the same way of accepting that certain people are going to be authentically themselves. That may not align with, how I walk in the world, but how I walk in the world and how they walk in the world are two different things. And they have their right to walk in the world the way they want to, even if it doesn't resonate with me. And I think that's always important to remember, but especially, animals, insects, reptiles, birds, anything out there is going to act in accordance with its nature. Let's see. Phobias and allergies can seem not normal at times, but it does not mean it's any less valid. If something seems not unusual, it means a need to learn more about it. Exactly. Like I heard there's an allergy to air. I don't comprehend how it's possible, but I don't judge it. Water sports with snakes is not a good thing. Yeah, they always win. They always, always, always win. Bravo needs bacon! Yes! Hydrate. Decaf. And I've got my little cap that I can close my sippy cup so that I don't spill it on my keyboard. Bravo, how are you? Hoo ha, hoo ha, hoo ha. See, I'm going to do that every time you come in because that's what it makes me think of. I've had a separated sternum. It's devil ripping them, deer, or anything will use. It's their best hit for sure. Oh my God, yeah. OMG. It's nature and life all in one. Sorry for my misspelling. Nature. That's okay. And fruity leaves, fall down damage. Yeah, it is. I mean, and nature is a beautiful thing. I'm good and you're making my Monday better. Oh, pshaw. Oh, you make all of our Monday better. There is nothing that is not improved by bacon. My own personal opinion. I know not everybody resonates with bacon. I know that there are those who do not eat bacon at all. But in my personal world, there is absolutely nothing that is not improved by bacon. Hoo-ha. Just when Doc thinks she can't spill a sippy cup, somehow she will get jump scared and spill it anyway. How? Fire nutter. Fire nutter. To fire nutter. My goodness. And cheese. Fist bump, high five. Much love for cheese. Okay. Absolutely favorite cheese. In order. Top 3 cheeses in order. Brie. I know it's very, very rich. I know that a little bit goes a long way. But oh my God, I love brie cheese. Baked brie, to me, baked brie with bacon in it. Oh my God, I'm going to have to do a way to figure that out. Oh, that's got to happen. Brie and bacon, B&B. That needs to happen. I'm going to write that down. Hold on. Note to self. Baked brie with bacon. All right, it's a note to myself. Oh my gosh. That would be good. Okay, so there's brie cheese, cheddar. And a really good, not a sharp cheddar, but a good mild cheddar. My dad had a business trip to Wisconsin, and he came back, and I wasn't even a fan of cheddar cheese. He came back with this, it was a mild cheddar, fresh made. Oh my God, that was good. I mean, it just melted in your mouth. I don't think I've had brie. Hold on. See, I always end up with like a gazillion tabs open. Brie cheese. I mean, it's one of the soft cheeses. Okay, so this is a baked brie. And so, the inside gets all moist. This is the brie that most of us have. And it's like brie cheese with like fruit or something. But yeah, a baked brie is amazing. But that's brie. Okay, baked. Because usually you see that around the holidays. Let's see if I can find one. It's got like oh, there it is. Like a phyllo dough. You wrap it in like a phyllo dough, and you put like fruit paste or fruit like jelly or preserve on it. Oh my god, baked brie. I can eat a stupid amount of baked brie. But see, this is my favorite when it's baked inside of a crust. Oh my god. That is so amazing. But okay. Um Colby. Colby is a very good cheese. Um Although, and I never used to like the idea of Gouda. Gouda has now become one of my things, but honestly, goat cheese. So I'd have to say my top 3. Brie, fresh mild cheddar, and goat cheese. Goat cheese is amazing. I know there's a lot of ricotta, which I didn't even know that I spent my whole life mispronouncing that. And mozzarella, not mozzarella, mozzarella. But oh my god. Let's see. Brie, my beloved. I love Brie. Yes, gonna Google Brie. Okay, not my thing. Looks nice though. Nova's pizza cheese kinds. Yes, Colby and Edam cheese. Yes. What was that cheese that came with the cow on it? Oh, what is it? Something Bell. Hold on. What was it? Okay, so there's Bay Bell cheese. Oh my god, look at that. Oh, that would be so good. Deep fried cheese fritters. Oh my god. That is air fried. See, I wish I knew how to use an air fryer. Because this is epic. Oh my gosh. But then there was the one that was like the wedges that was in every Christmas pack. Wedge. Hold on. Wedge cheese. What were the... Okay. Oh, I think this is the one you're talking about. Is this the one you're talking about? Laughing Cow? Laughing Cow cheese. Oh, I think I... Yes. Laughing Cow cheese. Can understand loved flavored types. Yes. Drools. The red wax cheese we had as kids. That's the one. You can say goat cheese is the goated cheese. Lol. Not that I know how good it tastes. But, and goat cheese, I will tell you, that is, it's one of the things, it's sort of like oysters, eggplant, and matcha. There's almost nobody who has a middle of the road, like, give or take. People either really like it or they really don't. There are some of those foods that are not middle of the row foods. And, it is chitlins, which is basically boiled and flavored pig intestines. And you literally boil the shiza out of it. And I remember when my mom made chitlins and the house stunk to a degree that possibly could have been weaponized by the military. Oh my God. The smell was horrific, but they tasted really good. Once you do the boiling and you spice them and then you cook them, they are really, really good. But yeah, there are some dishes I need to expand my cheese repertoire. Lol. But I mean, there's people from a lot of different areas. I mean, and even there's stuff in different parts of the US where the food people will go like, "Wait a minute, you eat that?" I got a jet. Have a great day. You too, Bravo needs bacon. Hoo-ha. We'll see you next time. Same Bat Bacon time, same Bat Bacon Bravo channel. Have a wonderful day, my dear. Yeah, later, Bravo needs bacon. Later, Gator. Speaking of Gator, when I lived in Louisiana, Gator Festival. There was a season during the year when it was legal to hunt gators. And there was a lot of gator being eaten in those days. Then they wanted people to eat this. Basically, it was a sewer rat called a nutria. And, the state decided that because there was a horrendous overpopulation of them, because they breed literally like rats. And so they were trying to talk people into eating them. I mean, it's like, what? It's the other white meat? But in Louisiana, the food is great as long as you don't ask too many questions. That's kind of the thing, is you don't ask a lot of questions, because you probably don't want the answer. You don't want the answer. I am fairly certain most people do not want the answer to what they're eating at a lot of the Cajun restaurants and stuff. But oh my gosh, yes. Cheeses are like, because it's like almost every culture, with the exception of like a lot of the Asian countries who don't utilize cheese a lot. Granted, they've got tofu, which to me, tofu is like cheese's cousin. I mean, it's fermented. It usually comes in a brick type form, and it tastes good either cold or hot. So, it's like, tofu, I will call tofu cheese's misunderstood cousin. Ah, open. Yes, I am totally having, you know, tofu really depends on the spices you put in it. Tofu will absorb the flavor. I mean, there was like a brief time that I was trying to eat vegetarian, and there was this thing where and it was lacto ovo, so it was like no eggs or anything like that. And there was this mix that was like to make scrambled eggs with tofu. I mean, it had the texture of scrambled eggs, but it had no eggs in it. Oh, let me see if they still have that. Tofu scrambled egg substitute. Let's see. Vegan tofu scramble. Yeah, it was, this is tofu. And I mean, it didn't taste bad. It didn't taste bad at all. And tofu scramble makes tofu taste like eggs. I mean, if you look at it, it looked like scrambled eggs, but it was tofu, and it didn't taste bad. But there's something about eggs. I did not do well as a vegetarian. It was tremendously stressful for me. And if I were to do it, I would definitely do the tofu scrambled eggs again, because, it wasn't bad. And looks decent. Yeah, it is. And especially like for people who have, because there are some people who are allergic to egg product. And, this was a perfect solution. In fact, I learned about it from a woman whose daughter could not eat eggs. And I mean, it was tough because almost everything had to be homemade. Because when you think about all the stuff like going out to restaurants, going out to, like general lunches and buying a sandwich or something, eggs in there somewhere. And for her, this was a great solution that that her daughter loved. So, yeah, I mean, the amazing thing is humans are so creative. They can always figure out a way around something. Humans are amazing because the idea of being presented with a problem, and there's this innate thing. It's like, I can solve that. I can figure out a way around it. And think of how many advances have occurred in the world just because some person decided, you know what? There is a better way to do that. I bet I can make a better way to do that. It is amazing. I found out something, even if you don't like a food, let's say avocado, octopus, some tofus, I guess, crab, or many things. If a cook or even a friend makes I dish so mixed or cooked in a kind of way, some of the very things I don't like, but make them, some have been the very, very best. I still remember. Yeah. I typed slow. I was typing out the same thing you just said. That's okay. Hey, great minds think alike. And yeah, there was, oh my gosh, there was a vegetarian restaurant. Hold on. Let me see if I can Google them. Hold on. Vegetarian house. It was it in San Jose? It might have been in San Jose, California. Vegetarian House Vegan on East Santa Clara. Oh my gosh. Okay. This was a place that had nothing but everything on it was vegetarian. There was absolutely nothing that had any part of animal in it. And they had, oh, what was it? Oh, the little fish, tom kha soup, all of that. Oh, what was the appetizers? I'm trying to remember what the name of that little white round, um not oysters. God, I am blanking. House specialties. Maybe it was in the house specialties. But it's like all of this food, all of this stuff, fried, everything. Why am I blanking on the name of that fish? Uh, hold on. Round fish. No, I don't want to. I don't want to hear about fish, a dish. Oh my God, I am totally blanking. You fry it. Fried, not calamari, fried. Oh, it's little, it's white, it's round. I am totally blanking on it. You fry it. Hold on. Scallops! Yes! 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 Oh my gosh. Thank you, JJ. That would have messed with my head the entire rest of the day. Oh my God. How am I not able to remember that? Anyway, they had a fried scallop that had ding, 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 ding. See, JJ, I missed you. Having to figure out what stuff is. See, don't go anywhere. Because when I have my boomer buffering moments. I need you to fill the gaps. And that's why you're a moderator. Glue self to chair. Yes, you are hereby. No, don't go anywhere. But they had scallops that literally tasted, when you bit into it, it tasted like a scallop. When you chewed it, it had the same bite, the same chew, the same flavor. Oh God, I feel so much better now. I, I was, that was messing with me. Vegan scallops. Hold on. Fried scallops. Images. Yeah, I don't know what it was, because it was like, I mean, it looks sort of like this, which looks like a scallop. I don't even know what they were made of. But, it's like grilled vegan scallops. Scallop is a mollusk. Good. I can't eat avocado, but it's not my kind of thing. But this one avocado tomato salad my friend made was so good. It was fire. And what I liked too was cool. She made it up. It was her own recipe. See, that's when you know someone really, really, really loves food. And it's not about loves food to eat food. It's about loving food to, that it makes you want to take it to another level. And, and most people do not know how an amazing a cook Jay Stunzi is. Jay is an absolutely amazing cook. And, a taste of magic. Exactly. Exactly. And you could taste their passion. I've always believed that the mindset of the person cooking, and it's like their energy goes into the food and it can affect the taste of the food. I cannot tell you how many times my dad would come home and he would sit down, and I mean, my mother would not say a word. She'd be acting perfectly normal. My dad would take a bite of his food, chew it a couple of times, slam his fork down, and it's like, which one of you little monsters upset my wife and ruined my meatloaf? How? But my dad could literally taste if my mom was irritated in her meatloaf. I don't get it. I have had that sometimes. Yes. If my energy went into what I cooked, I'd probably just cut myself. No, it is, and that's the thing. It's that when, because I mean, I know how to cook. I know the mechanics, and actually I consider myself more of someone who assembles. I like getting things that are already kind of established. Maybe I heat it up a little bit, but then mostly I just assemble it and we're good. But for the people who really, 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 who find joy in cooking, who can taste the little subtle nuances between spices. I don't, it's like, okay, well, that spice is green and that spice is red. So how about if we put them together? Yeah, it would, it's, but, I mean, and I think that our energy goes into anything. When I was treating patients, for the 20 plus years that I treated patients, I had to make sure that before I saw my first patient that day, that I got myself in that good space. That if there was something that was weighing on me, if I was irritated at somebody, I knew I had to get rid of that. That went on the back burner because I knew, and for the 15 years that I had been doing massage before that, I knew that as soon as I made contact with someone, they were getting all of me, including that energy. And that's not what I wanted. So I had to make sure it's like, you know what? Whatever's going on, I'll deal with that later. in this moment, and I would play music that made me happy. I would, burn a little bit of sage. I'd dance around my office a little bit. Yes, I danced around my office, but it was to get myself centered into the energy of the office. Because, yeah, I mean, people would come in, and one woman said, she goes, you know what? I could be blindfolded, and I'd know when I walked into your office just by the feel of it, because it feels safe. It feels nurturing. It feels like home. It feels like someplace I could sit down and relax. And I wanted to make sure that that was the feeling that stayed in. So if I needed to go out and walk around the building a couple of times, to get myself set. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it in some live streams where it's like, that was a day that streamer really should not have streamed. It was a day that, maybe they were dealing with something, and then they start taking it out on on the people. And it's like, no, because, and as some of you have been around a long time know, I came on when my older brother passed away, when Sam had to be put down. And the main reason, like for Sam and Luna, was because I knew that you all had a connection to them. When I had to put Sam down, and I came into this place, and it was like, it was rough. But see, that's different from coming in and you sit down and all of a sudden, I call it the pissed mist. Because I can tell when somebody walks into a room and it's like, oh, they've got the pissed mist. And it's like 3 to 4 feet around them is just angry. Nobody else needs to deal with that. Nobody. And it's like, have been trying to add things. Many don't mix, still okay food, but sometimes less was better. Hey, that's how you learn. That's how you learn it. Such a nice compliment. Yes. If you said hi, I missed it due to the appointment. Yes, I did say hi. And in fact, I did the northbound end, southbound end, raining beans. Damon! Damon Power. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? What's the buzz? Tell us what's happening. It's been not only a hot minute, it's been a dog's age. How are you? I tried to give a bit of pizzazz and sparkle to my cheese toasty. I found out the best is butter outside the bread and just cheese inside. It didn't need the pizzazz. I mean, and I totally get that. Because there are some things, it's like, you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, I know some add like maybe just a little bit of garlic powder. Now, my thing was cornbread. When I was growing up, if there was anybody in the house who was cooking the cornbread, it was me. I was the cornbread go-to in the house. And then somebody said, well, have you ever thought of putting like a little bit of garlic powder in it? And at first I thought to myself, how dare you? How dare you have the audacity to suggest that anything needs to be added to enhance the wonderful golden glory of cornbread? Well, then one day I tried it. Just a little bit. And yeah, it was better. And it's like, okay, I'll give it that. Not a lot of garlic powder, just like a little kiss of garlic powder, because it almost makes it where you taste that there's something different, but you're not quite sure what. But yeah, I'm big. If you can't tell, we can tell. I'm happy to add a squiggle of Tom sauce, but just a little. Yes, just some, and sometimes it's just a little. Still sweet and kind, just like I remember. Pretty do. Oh, Damon. Nothing worth mentioning on my side, but tell me, have you taught New Yorkers manners yet? We're getting there. We are actually getting there. Tom sauce, tomato sauce. Oh, I thought it was like Tom Kha sauce or something. I do not know why streaming makes my sinuses act up. Damon, it's really funny. Okay. As an example, because I remember we all talked about, how Jay told me that within a month I was going to be a cursing, angry New Yorker. And the thing is, New Yorkers aren't angry. They just all have some place to be. But, I said, no, I'm going to turn them into people like me. So in the mornings, when everybody would get in their buses and we'd have to do our checks, and you have to walk around, make sure all the lights are working, make sure the tires are inflated and all that. You have to do a radio check. And most people just go radio check, radio check, radio check, and the dispatcher would loud and clear, radio check. And then I get on and I start driving, and new driver and all of that. I get on. Good morning. 934 radio check, please. And the radio goes silent for like a couple of minutes. And it's like the dispatcher, loud and clear. And I go, thank you. Have a great day. And, and it's like people were like, who's that? And then one person got on the radio and goes, oh my God, she sounds just like a stewardess. She sounds like a stewardess. It's so soothing. Well, within like, a few weeks, one or two other people were going, good morning, radio check. And, but it was just so funny. And progressively, more and more people were saying, and then after they'd get their check, they were saying, thank you. And, and this year, one of our new drivers, he's funny. He goes, good morning, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Radio check, please. And I'm going, it's like, wow, even I didn't take it to that level. But it was funny. And, and it's like, and one person literally said, it's like, hearing you in the morning do your radio check, it makes me feel better. And then I do mine, and and it never occurred to me to say good morning, and it's like you're saying good morning to me. And one of the drivers said, it's like, you don't have to say that. I said, no, I don't have to, but I get to, because I love what I do, and my fellow drivers mean something to me. And just like I tell the kids getting on the bus every morning, every kid gets a very cheerful good morning. Doesn't matter what's going on. Every child, I want them to understand that I am happy they're on my bus. It's like, good morning, good morning. Hey, everybody, good morning. Happy Monday, happy Friday, happy Tuesday. Wow, that's a great sweater. Oh, that's such a pretty bow in your hair. Come on in, everybody, come on in. And during the winter, I'd say, it's like, good morning. I've got the bus nice and warm for you. And they grin, their parents grin. And I want my fellow drivers to feel that. Maybe nobody told them good morning, and my just saying, it's like, hey, good morning, 934 radio check, please. And to say thank you. And now people are saying thank you. So yes, I am slowly assimilating. I am assimilating New York. I love you being the influencer you are. Talk about some gigantic progress, Doc. It's really impressive, and I hope I'll be able to make these small changes like the ones you did. My dear Damon, sweetie, you already are. You may not be noticing them, but I can guarantee you that other people are noticing them. Other people are noticing that little light that you bring into situations. You're evolving much faster than you think. You just don't notice it. It's okay to say here good morning. For the other side, it's fine if some have no reply, but it's a simple greeting, 100% okay. Yeah, I mean, it is. I had one driver, and who is kind of a cranky pants. And the thing is, when I'm walking in the morning, I'm crossing the lot. I get off my bus. I'm crossing the lot. I see bus drivers going out. I wave at them as they're heading out, and they wave and smile back. And I tell them, it's like I walk up. If I walk past a driver, hey, good morning. Hey, good morning. And one driver said, what's so good about it? And I looked at him and I said, I woke up. And he stopped. Because a recent bus driver who always came in and said, good morning, she passed away in her sleep. And everybody, I mean, people saw her the day before, and she was smiling, she was talking to people, and then it was her time. And the next morning it was like, wait a minute, where's Kathy? And they said the family called and said she had passed in her sleep. And, so when I said I woke up, and he kind of looked at me and he goes, yeah, that is a good morning, isn't it? I say good morning to all my residents as well. They don't all respond, but most seem to like it. Yeah. And the thing is at one point I lost my voice. I mean, I just couldn't speak. The sinuses had drained down into the throat. It was bad. And so I couldn't speak above a whisper. And everybody was like, who's that? Where is she? Where's our good morning? And so as soon as it cleared up and that first morning I got on, it's like, good morning, 934 radio check, please. Drivers were getting on the radios going, oh my God, she's back. She's back. It's almost impossible to notice a lot of things when you're stressed and struggling in life. Yeah, like our influence on others. I'm still trying to learn how a bad day doesn't necessarily mean the whole week is ruined or I can't do this anymore. Yeah, that is, and Damon, that is such a powerful thing to be able to get your head wrapped around. It's like, for me, I just go, well, this is a thing. This is happening because I know it's not going to happen tomorrow. Life is fun until it isn't, and it sucks until it doesn't. And we can make it through because no matter how fun it is, at some point it's going to suck. No matter how much it sucks, at some point it's going to be fun again. So if, something's going on and it's really weighing on me, it's like, well, this is happening. And at that point, it's like, you know what? We're just going to end the day. If I'm having that horrible a day, it's like, you know what? I can end that day anytime I want. I'm going back to bed, or I'm going to sit down and play some video games. And then it shifts because I know tomorrow's going to be different. Tomorrow, the most amazing thing in the world could happen to me. So, it is about just being there, doing the best you can, understanding your best is more than good enough. And not every day is going to be great. Some days you're the baby and some days you're the diaper. And if it's a diaper day, it's a diaper day. But then tomorrow you can be the baby again. And on that note, I would say good morning, even though we all work at night. Some starting to say good morning too. There was an older guy that's been there a longer time than most. I still say good morning to him too. He did too now and then tap in. He's part of my team. He's still saying it. Yes. I'm telling you, the ripples go out. The little impact we make. I don't have to say good morning, but I do because that's me. Because if I didn't, because also it helps me start my day in that good way that I want to. If I'm feeling kind of and I tell somebody good morning and they look at me back and say, hey, good morning. Or, I wave to a driver in their buses, they're going by and they wave back and they smile. That feeds something inside of me. That reminds me, you know what? We're all right. We're going to be all right. It's going to be okay. I really miss the way you talk, Doc. You're the kind and wise voice that vanished from my mind. Oh, Damon, I didn't vanish. I was just back there playing a video game until you were ready. What you give out, life gives back. Yep. Oh, and this is Oreo. Hey, Oreo. Hello. Oreo is my new co-host. However, I've got to run because I've got to go catch a bus to go to the office to do cleaning and then take the bus back. So, everybody, have a wonderful, amazing day. Go out and make something happen. And whatever you choose to make happen, make at least one thing happen for no other reason than it makes you happy. Oh my goodness, 100 biddies. Thank you so much, Nova Sniper. And we will be back tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel, or same doc time, same doc channel. And it'll be Tuesday. So we're going to be talking about choices and how many we have and what we want to do with them. So thank you so much for everything, Doc. Never let the world change you like it did to many people. You know what? I'm too old to have to change. It is, it's too much work. It's too much work. And half the time I don't remember where my stuff is or remember what a scallop is. So, and same to you, my dear. because the world needs you exactly as you are, because you, all of you, are the only you in all the universe. You're the only you that's ever been and the only you that will ever be. And what that does is it makes you special, it makes you sacred, and most of all, it makes you necessary. Because as the only you in all of the universe wouldn't be the same or complete without you. So, everyone, have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, or night. May you walk gently with the world. May the world walk gently with you. And as always, I wish you balance and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. So, have a good day. Learn something new. I'm proud of you and I love you. And Damon, we've got new music. If you go to the Discord, there's a section called Songs for Doc, and people have been creating songs for me, and this is a part of one of those songs. So everybody take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Emerald Queen, where the gamers unite.